Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hi. Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411, all about Studio City.
I couldn't remember what it was called. I know we've talked about it 100,000 times, but whenever I went to watch it last night, I used the handy dandy voice function on the remote and was like, Sean Kanan. Oh, thank you. Brought it right up. So if you forget what it's called, just say his name. It'll bring it up for you.
So yeah, in our interview that we had with Sean in December.
I like the way we say Sean, like he's our BFF now.
He is our BFF
My friend Sean.
He shared with us, and he said that we were the first platform that he was actually talking about it with.
Yes.
That he was doing this. And it's a web series exclusively on Amazon. And Soap Opera Digest wrote up a nice little blurb about it that I will read. And it just says, Sean Kanan launches digital series. Soap vet Sean Kanan rang in the new year with his new digital series, Studio City. Because it was supposed to drop at the beginning of December, but it actually wound up not going until the end.
Oh, okay.
Dropping on Amazon Prime. It's really my love letter to the soaps, says Kanan, who created, executive produces, and stars in the dramedy about a soap opera actor with as much, if not more, drama in his personal life as on the screen. I'm happy with the way we did it. If you can strike the balance between the funny and the dramatic, which is not so easy to do, I think you can reach a wider audience. And that's our goal right now, to find our audience, grow legs, and bring everybody back, hopefully for a second season, which I personally think that
definitely,
yes. The 6-episode first season stars a slew of familiar faces, including Patrika Darbo, Carolyn Hennessy, Tristan Rogers, Sarah Joy Brown, and it just says Sarah Brown, but doesn't she go by Sarah Joy Brown?
Yeah.
Okay. And Scott Turner Schofield. Sorry, I've never watched Bold and Beautiful, so I did not know that. Several of the parts I already had cast in mind. Kanan shares of the creative process. We came up with the part of my mother, and we knew that we wanted Patrika. Carolyn, who his wife, Michelle, had worked with before, plays our producer. Sarah Brown was up for the challenge, and Tristan is a good friend of mine, so we were thrilled he wanted to do it. I worked with Scott on B&B, and we've got a great LGBTQ storyline in the series. After I got done with the begging, it was pretty easy, he quips. The project proved to be a family affair as well. We had a lot of talented people on the team, Kanan adds, not the least of which was my wife, Michelle, who wore 3 hats as producer, writer, and she did the casting, which I think that's cool that it's something that they did together. Juliet Vega, who plays Delilah, is my stepdaughter, and she did a terrific job in her first real significant role playing opposite a bunch of vets. Our producing partner, Tim Woodward Jr., who's the showrunner, comes from feature films, and he brought his director of photography in to shoot this and gave it a real cinematic look that I don't think you see often in digital series. We're really proud of that. It's been a long road with a lot of twists and turns to get this made, but has become an incredibly rewarding experience. So that was a little write-up from Soap Opera Digest if you need a little, but what is it and why should I care?
Well, that story made me sad because I didn't realize that was the whole first season.
You didn't?
No, I was hoping like they were releasing this 6 and then in February there'd be a few more or something.
Well, then that could be season 2. It's like Stranger Things, how they just dump all the episodes on one day, which I like but hate.
Yeah.
Because then you binge it and you're done.
I hope that the second season is quick coming because if I have to wait, like that Mrs. Maisel that's on Prime, I binge watched the whole thing in December and now the next season isn't until like next December.
Right.
And that makes me sad.
I do that with Working Moms on Netflix.
Ah, yeah.
Because
you got me addicted to that show too.
That's a really good one.
It is. So
what did you think about Studio City?
I was actually really surprised. I love Sean, but when he first started talking about it, I was like, what can you do in 15 minutes? That's going to get me addicted. Honest first thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as I watched it, I was like, yes, this is really good. They did a really good job of making the soap part of the show look and feel like a soap part. It was the correct like dramaticness and like ridiculousness.
I was gonna say I really like that they really emphasize the ridiculousness though. Like
yes.
The one doctor shirtless with the lab coat on in the morgue. I was like, oh please, that is so. I mean, he's making fun, and that's we've talked about it. You have to make fun of yourself about certain things, like, right. And it's one of the stereotypes.
Yes. exactly. And then the real world part was real world enough. It
Mhm.
had a really good line because I wasn't sure how you were gonna portray a soap on a soap and not have the whole thing feel soapy. Does that make sense?
I think I do understand what you're saying because it needed to be real life. I mean, it's not like when Joey was on Friends was on Days of Our Lives,
Right.
because the story was not his life being a soap opera too.
Exactly.
But I didn't realize, and he didn't tell us this, that the girl playing his daughter is his stepdaughter.
No, I didn't know
I
that
think that's
either.
awesome.
That
That's
is
amazing.
awesome.
Maybe that was just like a little
Yeah.
surprise for us.
She did really good.
She absolutely did.
I was impressed. I really was.
I had a similar thought about, okay, but it's going to be 6-10 minute episodes. But then I really thought about it as I was watching. And when we watch things now, because we don't have cable,
Yep, I thought of that
it's
too.
only 22 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So when he has a 15-minute episode, okay,
Yeah.
we're only missing 5 minutes. You can definitely, but I think that we're also accustomed. I think that, oh my gosh, this is going to be a generational thing
Oh no.
that we
Stop
were.
making us old.
I know, but that, like, we think of General Hospital as being an hour, but you and I both know we only watch 35 minutes because
Yeah.
we stream it. There's a whole.
I know that you're right, but I don't
I know.
want to accept that.
That's okay.
Shows are a
That's
half
why
hour.
we like soap operas,
Yes.
because we don't have to accept reality.
Exactly. Shows are a half hour or an hour. So the idea that this was around 15 minutes, I was not expecting it to be good, and it was really good.
And it was quick moving enough that there wasn't a lot of filler.
Right, exactly.
There wasn't a lot of fluff. But it was impactful. I mean, they were able to jump from story to story after only having 10 minutes of story and very quickly transition into another piece. Like, you could totally binge watch it.
Yes.
And not feel lost.
Mm-hmm.
There was just something about the way that the transitions, because I would actually skip through the recap because I'm like, well, I just watched that. I don't need to.
Yeah.
But even because there was that scene where they went from his girlfriend auditioning to the transgender support group.
Yes.
Was that the transition? I can't remember if that was the actual transition. But there was something that happened right before the very next episode was only the transgender support group. And I don't feel like that was a bad transition.
No.
Like, it felt right.
Yeah.
So.
No, I was super impressed. Not that I wasn't expecting it to be bad just because of all the actors that were going to be in it.
Work?
Exactly.
Right.
I kind of figured it was going to be, how sometimes there's a show that you watch and you're like, oh, yeah, that was cute, but you don't care if you see the next one again.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you wanted to watch the next episode.
Absolutely.
And when it got to the end of the last one, and it, it's just the little corner, the little box in the corner, and it's like up next, and I realized that up next was not another episode. I was like, oh no, I finished it already. Wait, I need more information. So yeah, it was a good soap.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you think about Tristan Rogers playing his dad?
I love Tristan. I just love him. His stepdad.
Yes.
Stepdad, because that was like relevant to the story. I
feel like we can spoiler stuff because
it's not really a spoiler because you just need to watch it.
But it's been out for a month by the time this releases.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Tristan played his stepdad. He called him Kiddo at some point, and it reminded me of how he would call Robin Kiddo. Yeah. And that was cute. But yeah.
And Sarah played his sister, which that was cool. And he said that she came out of retirement for that.
I thought that the aging there was a little bit weird though, because they said that Tristan got with his mom when he was 12, but Sarah is their daughter together, and it doesn't feel to me like there would be that many years between the two of them.
Let's figure out the ages.
Not that it matters. I mean, in soap world, you can be 50 playing a 5-year-old, so whatever. But I felt like the age there should have been a little closer.
So Sarah Joy Brown is 44, and Sean is 53.
Oh, all right.
So that's almost 10.
Yeah. I don't mean to call him old, but I forget that he's that old.
I know what you're saying because we still think that we're 17, but we're not.
And on General Hospital, I still see them together.
As peers. Right.
And they were the same age.
Right.
So to see them playing siblings with that much of an age difference, that was my only, I wouldn't have put them that
because
far
they would
apart.
have had to have had her right away. Or maybe they had her before. Oh, no, because he said you were 12 when I met you. And it took him 7 months to fall in love with his mom.
A year to fall in love with his mom, half that time to fall in love with.
That was so good.
It was. That was my favorite
Okay, so
part.
we are so all over the place. We are sorry.
But what more would you expect from us?
Right. But if you haven't watched it, I hope that we're giving you reason to watch it because I really feel like you almost can't explain it. So they touch on so many, and I think the thing that I was the most impressed about was he did touch on so many, like, really, really, really important things.
Yes.
General Hospital is the first soap opera to have a transgender actor playing a transgender role.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was done very tastefully. We try not to get into personal opinion on any hot topic just because
But things shouldn't be a hot topic sometimes.
right. It's about the fun of General Hospital and that's all that it's about. But I thought that the way that they ran that storyline was done really authentically and tasteful. It wasn't done to get a reaction from people one way or the other. They weren't trying to exploit anyone and they weren't trying to use it just for ratings or anything like that. It was a very, what I would assume, honest portrayal of coming into the industry and trying to find your place. Good job.
No, I agree. And then they also touched on the Me Too movement, and it really came out in the last episode.
Yes.
That I was not expecting.
Right.
At all.
Don't you hate when you're listening to a great podcast and suddenly you're interrupted by an ad?
I know. Thank goodness Stitcher lets us listen to our favorite podcasts like Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, My Favorite Murder, and many more ad-free for only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year.
Go to Stitcher.com/premium to sign up today.
Use promo code PEER54 for 1 month free on us. So basically, Sean's character, Sam, doesn't know who his father is. His mom was single mom. Met.
Oh, I don't know what Tristan... See, I'm really bad at watching General Hospital actors play something else because no matter how much I love them in their new role, I still refer to them as their General Hospital names. So I don't know what Tristan's name was on the show. I'm sorry.
For some reason, I want to say Jack, but I don't think it's right. Doc. So I was close. And you'd think that I would remember that because that's actually what my kids call their grandfather. So anyway, Sam was 12 when his mom met Doc. And like Amanda said earlier, so Sam had like a tough relationship because he's like, well, I was 12 whenever I met him. So like, I don't see him as my dad. It's like, he's your husband. And it definitely felt like he respected who he is in his life. But he's like, but that's not my dad. So this girl comes out in essentially nowhere and tells Sam that she's his daughter, and it's actually in real life his stepdaughter. And, he's struggling with what the heck do you mean? And then she meets him over across the street, I'm assuming, at a bar that turns out to be Doc's bar. And the bartender is Sarah Joy Brown, his sister. And they talk, and she shows him a picture and is like, do you remember this woman? That's my mom. You left her pregnant, but she never came after you, and here I am. But then, so he was like just really struggling with all of that. And so Sarah Joy Brown's character, what the heck was her name? Lori, tells their mom,
hey, by the way, your grandma.
Surprise! And she really did a good job confronting her because she was like, no, you are not getting money. What are you here for? And she's like, I just want a relationship with him.
Yes. She was harsh, but not totally nasty.
Right. I mean, she was firm enough because you never know.
Right.
Especially this day and age. Who's a scammer. I mean, a cute little 15-year-old kid can totally scam you. So then she finally sat down with Sam and he said, tell me who my dad is. And she told him I was 17, had just moved to Hollywood to get a job, and a producer took advantage of me.
Right.
And she didn't say the name.
True.
Which part of me really hopes that because we are getting a second season, Sean, when we get a second season, that I hope that I hope that he doesn't find out who his...
Right.
Because that gives you a face to hate. I mean, it's bad enough to hate. Although, where he's an actor, what if I don't think that she would have let him work for his dad.
Right.
I don't know how I want that to go. But she just broke down.
See, I just kind of assumed that it was an older director that's passed away already. So
True.
It won't matter.
True. I could totally... That would be a great...
So they can give a nice made-up name, and then he's already passed away. And
so it doesn't matter. Right.
Yeah.
I like that. I just felt so bad when she was sitting there crying, saying, like, please forgive me, because I wasn't getting the impression that he was mad at her. I think he was just like, what?
That's not what I was expecting.
Not at all. You
Right.
know, I think he was expecting a one-night stand or
Yes.
something like that. I don't think that he was expecting her to be raped.
Right.
Or sexually assaulted. Or put in a position to where, because she even said it, she goes, in that day and age, that's what you did. There was no other choice. Which is horrible. But we hear about it like with Judy Garland.
Right.
And all those women of that age, they did stuff that they're not happy about that totally messed them up and ruined their lives. I did think, but then later on, Doc sits down and is like, I just want you to know that I know that your mom told you the truth and I don't think any differently of you, you know, and that does not change who you are to me. And then, like Amanda said, that he fell in love with him first and
Which
it took him
so
longer
cute.
to fall in. And then Sam finally calls him dad.
That was so cute.
Because I think that he realized,
that
you've loved my family.
Right.
Despite this massively horrible, horrible thing.
And he was so honest about it. He was like, you're a pain in the butt. You've been a pain in the butt forever. But I still fell in love with you first. And it was a great line. But as a single mom, it just kind of gets you in the, because you love when people love your kids. So.
Oh, our best man at the wedding. Part of his speech was that JD had fallen in love with the kids. And he joked. He's like, not sure if it's because you're a big kid yourself or what. But
that's cute.
He's like, you know, we know that he's fallen in love with you. But, you know, to see him with the kids is.
Yeah.
And you're right. There is just something about that. But so it's going to be really interesting to see where that goes with him. Because now you have to think about the fact that that little girlfriend that he has is obviously cheating on him on the side. And she's 22, which is only 7 years older than his daughter.
Yep. I thought that was funny. Whenever the girl said she was conceived in 2003, he was like, I'm not old enough to be your dad. And she was like, yeah, you are. And
right.
He kind of got that face like, oh.
Yeah,
I kind of like we say, oh, are we that old to have kids this old? How did that happen? So cute. And Tristan Rogers has cancer.
I know. I was going to talk about it.
Show. So we need to develop.
We need to find out what's going on there.
The idea of not having a second season, that's absurd. There has to be more than a second season because he did a really good job of starting all these storylines, but they need so much more developed.
Yep. So. Exactly. The one I wrote 3 notes. How powerful was that last episode that we just talked about? Sarah Joy Brown Hart and hearing Tristan Rogers swear.
Aww.
Because I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. But he dropped the F-bomb. I would have been okay with, not that I wasn't okay with it, but I was just like, he just swore. Robert swore. Robert dropped the F-bomb. But it was real, and it was in a real moment, and that's the thing. Like, I hate when there's needless swearing all the time.
Right. No, I felt like it was good on that front, too. I mean, there were grown-up words, because it's a grown-up show, but it wasn't incessantly added just for the flair of it. I hate when, even with soaps, storylines are obviously over the top and overdone in soaps, and in this story that has a soap line, the soap parts were definitely soapy, but there was none of that added ridiculousness.
Like, so Veronica Mars never could swear because it was a show on TV, but they had like a tongue-in-cheek that you knew what they wanted to say and they didn't. But then when they just did the Hulu reboot or whatever, F. And I'm like, oh, come on. Part of the fun of it was that you didn't do that.
Right.
You know, I know what you're saying. And I'm not, I hope this isn't coming off like being a prude, but it's.
No, I mean, I definitely use some curse words in everyday life, but I feel like, I don't know, if you use them all the time, they lose their power.
Right.
So, I don't know. And I think that's a lesson as you have kids, because, you know, they get to that age where they want to start swearing just to, like, see your reaction, and you learn to just not give the reaction, and then it loses all its power, and it's just kind of done.
Yep.
So, I feel like the same thing in TV shows or movies or whatever. If you are throwing it in there because something needs that emphasis, then yes, more power to you.
Like
use it.
Finding out that you are going to die of cancer in the next year.
I would probably use that.
Definitely do the same thing. Hands down. And I've totally said it. You know, I mean,
but you don't use it for like.
It's not my go-to.
I ran out of toilet paper.
Right. I don't say I ran out of effing toilet paper.
So, whatever.
Yeah.
No, it was really good. I was really impressed. Again, not that I thought it was gonna not be good, but I just kind of felt like it was gonna be like, oh, this is a side project that somebody famous did, and it's gonna be a cute run through, and we'll be done with it. But
No, we need
now
more.
I want season 2.
Yes.
Like tomorrow. Not wait a year, please. Don't make me wait a year.
And we posted a couple pictures on our Instagram of just some screen grabs. I loved Carolyn Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was totally Diane.
Yeah.
You know, but I wonder if that's more her personality too.
I think so, because she plays that same character. She was on the Disney Channel, Sweet Life of
Yes.
Zack and Cody.
Yes.
And it was pretty much that same character. And I don't say that as a negative, because she rocks it. Like, she got it together. So I feel like that's just her at this point.
Right. And we had some people, Shy Gal 8199. I liked it. I look forward to more episodes. GLOEO. I'm going to say it's Glowio. Binged in one sitting. Janie Diamond Pink. Clap, 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 clap. And then just some other people saying that they're going to check it out, because we said, if you're bummed about the lack of General Hospital this week, you should definitely check out Studio City on Amazon Prime, created by Sean Kanan, who also stars in it alongside Carolyn Hennessy, Sarah Joy Brown, Patrick Darbo, and Tristan Rogers. Was there anything that we didn't talk about with it?
I don't think so. You just have to watch it. I mean, I think we gave you tons of information about it, but you still have to see it for yourself.
Yes, because it's definitely, and I think that it's appropriately the premise that Sean said, that he wants to have it seen as like a love letter to the soaps, because it really is. And you know what? Things like that happen in real life.
Right.
You know, and that's why we have our reality check at the end of our Monday episodes, because, you know, life's funny. Life's messed up.
Sometimes you need to use curse words. Sometimes you don't.
Exactly. But yeah, so definitely check out Studio City on Amazon Prime if you haven't already. We're recording this a little bit early, so we don't know if General Hospital has not been on all week again. But if it hasn't, I mean, give yourself 10 minutes a day. You'll have it done.
There you go.
In a week. So
it is worth checking out.
It absolutely is. And we want season 2.
Yep.
Soon.
Like now.
Tomorrow. So as we are recording this early, like we just said, and don't know if there's going to be new episodes, we're going to do something on Monday.
Right.
Obviously don't know if it's going to be a weekly recap or not.
We'll figure it out.
So we'll see. If we do, yay! Even if it's one episode, we still will, because we're consistent. So.
And if not, we have no problem talking about anything.
Right. We do have a backup plan, though, just so you know, in case there are no episodes this week, we do have a backup plan.
So have a good weekend.
And we'll meet at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to pier54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Pier 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at pier54podcast@gmail.com.